Let's get right to it. Our calm and strong practice this morning. We'll start standing with our yoga block, and we're going to start with teacup drills today. I think they're such a great warm-up because they get a little bit of everything moving. So we'll start with that block. If you've never done a teacup drill, we hold that block flat in the palm, and then we're moving our arm all around, all the ways, while that block cruises around in our hand. Couple of nice breaths to just feel your arrival here. No wrong way to do this. I like to really reach through my arm here and really feel that reach, that length through my limb. Just kind of accentuating the stretch through all the movements. Making sure to just reverse all those patterns you're creating. Okay, let's meet up here together for a little balance. So whatever hand you have that block in, reach out on the diagonal and then reach through the opposite leg here. And then go ahead and switch that out. Other side, other arm. No rush. In fact, kind of letting go of any sense of urgency here that might have followed you into the yoga mat. And if you drop that block, just begin again, right? Really sensing, feeling. What's nice about these is you have to kind of notice where your wrist is in your palm in time and space. All right, let's start to find our way back out. Same thing here. Whatever hand that's in, opposite hand, you're gonna reach out on the diagonal, float that leg out, long line from hand to heel. Good, and then let's bring that right on back in. We're gonna use our yoga block straight away. Second thing, we're gonna place that down on the ground. I will say that I think this works really nice with a foam block. Not that it can't be done with cork, but I think foam's a little more giving, which is what I like about it. So I'm gonna dig my heel on the ground. Ball of my foot goes on the edge or like ledge of that block. And then I'm gonna just gently push in, like I'm pressing a brake pedal in a car. I'm just going to get this nice stretch through the calf. And I just think a calf stretch feels so nice, right? Like it's immediate, it's there, it's something we can really sense and it feels nice. I also like to kind of ease off of a stretch and then come back into it. So doing that a few times. And then from there, same foot, we're just going to bring our heel up onto that block. I've propped my foot onto that block. Let's take an inhale together, reach the arms. I'm going to hinge at my hip crease, sit my hips back, and come a little bit forward. So now I get a little more of the hamstring here. And then while I'm hanging out, I'm going to flex through my foot and ankle, right? So I'm going to kind of flex point my foot. As you draw those toes up towards you, if this is your right leg, we're going to reach back on the left. Reach back through the left arm, look behind you, take a breath. And let's release and come on up. We're going to switch that out. So other side, I'm going to put my heel on the floor, ball of the foot, toes drape onto the block. Yeah. And then from there, you're in charge of the intensity. I'm pushing off the back into that stretch for the calf, down low. And rather than just kind of staying in that static stretch, just like ease off a few times. It's nice to kind of release the stretch, like the feeling of the letting go of that stretch, and then coming back into it. Soften your jaw, just easy breathing. One more time, I'm going to come into that weight of my foot pressing into the block. And then now let's shift here. We're going to bring that foot up onto the block, my heel. Let's take the arms and reach. From there, we're hinging. I'm going to reach the hips back. And I'm going to come over that front leg a little bit. I didn't say this on the other side, but I've got a little bend in the standing knee. Okay? From there, let's wiggle through the foot. And then as you draw those toes towards you, I'm reaching back over that shoulder. Take a breath here, sides back of the waist. Oh yes, let's come on up and out of that. Fantastic. You can set your yoga block aside and just kind of shake that off. And then we'll find together mountain pose. So let's come into the top of your yoga mat here. Give the shoulders a shrug, a little nod of the head. Lift and spread your toes. Take in the floor beneath you. Take in the yoga mat you're standing on. Really feel into your footprints. Okay. And then once you've done that, let's take those arms up overhead. We're going to fold forward. Lengthen here, halfway, look up. Exhale, fold it all the way in. And then let's rise, coming all the way back up, just into mountain pose, just a half vinyasa. We're going to do one of those again. An inhale to raise the arms. Fold in half. Lengthen here, halfway. Exhale, fold. Now press through the feet like you mean it. Reach up overhead, right back into mountain pose. Good. A breath. Raise the arms. We're folding forward and we're stepping back and down into tables. Come on into hands, knees here and take a moment. I want you to shrug the shoulders, circle them, move them. And then let's expand this into the spine, arch and round through the back body. Okay, let's pause that. We're going to tuck our toes. We're going to push back into a nice deep squat here. Sink in. Let gravity drop you into this here. A couple of breaths to just take that in. And then we're just going to sneak right back out to where we were in that table. Now, you're in table, hands, knees, likely kind of facing the front of your mat there. So I want you to walk your arms kind of off to the diagonal on the right side here. And then right there, I want you to walk the right arm forward. And let's sink down. Just the right arm. Taking a breath. And now let's lift on back up. So we'll come back to center. There's the top of your mat or front of your mat. Walk that off to the diagonal to the left side. Okay, like about one step or so. And then left arm is going to walk out there and you're just going to drop the chest. Easy breath in. Full exhale out. And then let's rise. We'll walk it back into where we were. First downward facing dog here. Go ahead and send the hips high and take a few moments to just pedal through the feet, shifting your weight. Take a moment to find that first downward dog for you. Now let's lift our heels. So we're in dog. We're going to lift our heels nice and high and then just deep bend into the knees. Let's re-straighten the legs and just lower the heels. I'm going to go ahead and take the feet a little wide here, walking it backwards. So there we are at a forward fold. And let's hang here just a moment. You might even heel toe the feet a little wider there so that you can just really make some space. Shift and drift. And then we're going to pause. So if you're kind of swaying like I am, you're going to pause. We're going to put a bend in the knees. Now, we're going to plant the left hand or fist, and then we're going to reach up with the right. Just reach with the elbow, okay? And then let's come back down and do that again. So just elbow towards the ceiling, twisting out. This time as you do that, go ahead and reach the armrest of the way and make room to breathe here. Now let's release, and we'll do the other side like that. So I'm going to plant the right hand, and I'm just going to lead with the elbow, turning. So we can really feel this twist come from the upper back, the T-spine. So just notice where your body stops. And this next one here, go ahead and reach the arm rest of the way. Breathing. That's it. Let's release. Come on down. Go ahead and just bring your feet right on back into your mat. Let's rise. Take a moment all the way upward, salute here. And then go ahead and fold in, because now we're walking it out all the way out there to plank. And then we're lowering all the way down into the floor for cobra. Let's spend some time here lifting and lowering through. Moving the hands around, finding just that best feeling cobra for your body. It might be really small. It might be a little bigger. If your toes cramp when you do this, one thing you can try is taking the feet wider. That may help in the moment. Now, as we come down from cobra, let's do locust pose. Sweep the arms back, hover, lift everything, and release, heavy to the floor. Do that one more time. I want you to lift, really feel the engagement through your back body. Arms, legs wide out into the space beside you. Ooh, release. Now, push it all the way back, child's pose. Take a nice long moment in repose. And just allow all that initial movement to really land for you in your body, also in your mind. Let's be here for just another round of breath. So just a nice steady inhale and just a nice complete exhale. From that, slowly start to rise and start to lift up and just kind of sit back into your heels here. Take a moment in that nice passive stretch through the knees and the quads and the feet. Okay. From there, let's rise. Come on up into the knees. And then from here, we're going to move the right leg. We're going to bring it forward, right into our low lunge. Go ahead and shift forward here. Let your body weight sink in. And now let's come on up. We're going to work out into some ranges of this here. So we'll take it slightly diagonal, same thing, sinking out. And then come on up. A little bit more to the side. And that might be all you have. See if there is a little bit more without like sacrificing everything to crank into that, right? Now, we're going to just walk our way back the way we came, a little at a time. Just getting all those angles. And back to the front. Fantastic. Let's come here. Find the back foot. I want you to tuck the toes. We're going to rise out of the floor. Take a moment in high crescent lunge up top. And then I want you to find eagle arms here. Just intertwine or give yourself a bear hug. Let the back heel lift. Nice bend in the front knee. And then let's unravel those arms. And now I want you to lean forward. Reach out through the crown of the head. Fingertips shooting back behind you. Let's rise. Do this again. Nice sweep of the arms. Long diagonal line. Laying the body forward. Yeah. From there, let's just lower that knee. Come right back through. And find the other side. So I'm bringing my left foot forward. Here I am. I'm going to just sink right out into the front here. And then let's come on up. Same thing this side. We're going to make our way out into some angles and ranges and just kind of explore our low lunge. Little at a time. Notice where this shows up for you in your body. There's not one right spot. Okay, we're probably starting to make our way back towards the front, walking our way in. Okay, once you've made your way back, you're square to the front, back toes, they help us rise on up out of the floor. And take a moment to find high crescent lunge here. We're going to take eagle arms, intertwine, set the shoulders down, gently lift the chin. All right, let's unravel that. We're reaching, and then here we are, long diagonal line. Reaching out through crown of head, glance down. Reach through the fingertips back there. Sweep the arms, reach up. Good, find that again. Back heel, really lift it. Most of that weight in the front foot. And we'll rise. Okay, let's bring this right on back down, out, and we'll sit back into the heels for another moment here. Drop the chin. Okay, let's come forward out here. Rising up, downward dog. Send the hips high. As you re-arrive in that dog pose, just feel how you're evenly driving through the hands, reaching back through the hips. Okay, let's find three-legged dog now. I want you to lift your right leg high. Maybe you stack the hip open. Just that expansiveness, reaching through the leg. Now, let's bring that foot forward. Here we are, low runner's lunge. And then from low runner's lunge, let's take a twist. We're reaching up, right arm. And then let's release that, rising all the way up, high crescent lunge here. This time we go forward, warrior three, shifting, lifting out of the back leg. And then from right here, we're rising, and we're gonna let this foot cross over. So my feet are crossed at the ankles. So instead of my left foot being next to my right, I've crossed it behind, right? Take a moment in that, settle into the feet in that arrangement. Raise the arms, reach up. Exhale, forward fold with cross-legged feet. Notice how this lands for you. Notice how this shows up a little differently. Let's go ahead and bend the knees. And we'll step out of that and back to dog pose. Other side, three-legged dog. We raise the left leg, big reach. And then coming right on through, here's our low runner's lunge. We take a twist, shoulders stack. All right, let's come on out of that. We're rising, we're making our way. High crescent lunge. Take a moment and get steady in your feet. We're reaching up. And then here we go. Warrior three, shifting forward out of that back leg. Driving through the mound of the big toe. Let's come up. Crisscross the feet, right? Crossing that foot behind. Taking a moment, standing tall in mountain. Let's raise those arms. Find your forward fold. Okay. A little bend in the knees. This certainly is going to show up a little differently than how our normal forward fold feels. And if you bend the knees enough, you can step right on out of that crisscross back to the dog pose. It's there waiting for you. Let's go ahead, take those feet wide again. We'll walk it backwards. There's that forward fold. Rising about halfway in that athletic stance, hands are just going to land at the knees. And we'll take a little twist back here, a little wiggle. There we go. Let's rise. Come on up, rest of the way. On up. Shake all that out. Yeah. Let's reset. Re-arrive. We're going to catch a hold of our yoga block again and work with that. Okay. We've got our yoga block in our hand. From here, standing, mountain pose. No crisscross of the feet needed for this here. We're going to stand on the right leg. I'm going to draw up that left knee. I'm going to head back towards warrior three. And then from here, I'm just going to pass that block behind my thigh. I'm going to kind of hug that into the thigh. So yeah, I got a little bend in that standing leg for sure. Let's release that. Come on up. We're going to do the other side. Stand on your left. I've lifted this knee so I can just thread it back like I'm going to my warrior three pose. And then block's going to come behind the thigh. I'm just going to hug into that a little bit. Let's release, come right on back up, right? Little extra stretch through the hamstring there. Back to the first side, right leg. I'm headed back to warrior three. And I'm simply going to pass the block through this time and come right back up to stand. And so I'm just kind of added this novelty with the yoga block. Moving from warrior three back up to standing. Now, if things are too wobbly, you could certainly do this from a lunge position. You can put the foot back down. All right, let's shake that out. We'll do that on the other side, right? So we have options along the way. Find your on-ramps. I'm standing on the left side. I'm going to start this out in a lunge, right? Just to kind of maybe get my bearings, kind of orient myself to the movement. Foot is touching down back there behind me. Still getting to pass the block. If that's feeling doable, maybe I try it now with warrior three. Okay, yeah. It can be a little bit of a challenge when we go involving the hands and passing something while we're also doing a movement, right? It can be quite involved there. But it is a good kind of skill to sharpen with the brain, the vestibular system. Let's go ahead, set that down. Come back into mountain. Take a moment to really be in it. Clear, clarify, re-arrive. From there, let's raise those arms, reach it up. Chair pose, let's get low, ground into the feet. And then get a little lower, squatting down, balls of the feet. Draw up tall, feel your balance here. Now, I'm going to reach my arms forward to kind of slow and control my fall. Right on down into my seat. Here I am in boat. I got those hands behind the knees. And then from there, cross-legged seat to rock forward and then back. And we'll switch those feet each time. Let it be easy. Okay, as you lean back, let's go ahead, plant those feet out in front, wide edges of the mat. Glue those feet there. Let's move through the hip joint here, touching the knee or reaching the knee towards the middle. Yeah, okay. From there, let's take the legs long. Just long seat. Shift around, sit really nice and tall, strong flex on the feet, drop the chin. Hands are right by your side there in staff pose. And then let's soften that posture of yours and then take a little fold here. Not too serious, just draping. Two breaths here, slowing it down. Okay, let's go ahead, rise. Come on up. Let's work into our 90-90 position for the hips. Pinwheel pose. So let's have the right leg, your right leg forward. And let's take a moment to settle into this shape here. You probably heard me say this before. This shape here might be a lot as is, right? You might just settle into it and be like, okay, here's where the work is. And that's fine, right? From here, option, we're going to kind of hold on to that back shin. This is my left. I'm going to raise my right arm and reach up. And then maybe like a little slight side bend. Breathing. Fantastic. Let's come up here. Hands at the hips. We're going to lean forward. I'm not going to settle into it. I'm going to lean and then I'm going to come right back up. So like we did with the calf stretch, it's kind of like I'm coming into the stretch and then I'm kind of dialing off of it. Let's do this a few times. Tune in, notice what you feel. And then as you rise this next time, let's lift out of our seat, driving the floor away, hinging back down into it. We're going to do that 2 more times. Last time we'll lift up. Okay, let's come down, sweep the legs out and around into the other side. Okay, take a moment to arrive. Land the legs in that shape. Stay here, or reach that back shin. Hold on, raise the arm, take a little side bend. It's going to be so very slight. A little goes a long way, and breathe. Okay, from there, let's come on out. Hands again at the hips. I'm kind of putting a flex on that front foot. It's kind of like my brake pedal. All right, I'm going to lean in, and then I kind of drive through that front leg to bring me back up and out. Last time forward. Okay, now let's come up. I like to interlace my hands here, kind of grab a hold, drive the floor away. I'm lifting up and out. Okay, we're doing that a total of 4 times. See about controlling that. If we're not ready for the lift off, that's fine. Again, a lot of work can be had just being in that shape. Okay, I lost count, so maybe 1 more here. There we go. Let's come on out. Unravel those legs. Maybe shake those out. The aftertaste of that work. Okay. From here, we're going to grab our yoga block, and we're just going to do a propped up version of bound angle or butterfly, right? So I'm going to just sit up on that flat side of my block and then bring the soles of the feet together. I really like the propped up version of this pose. Drawing up tall, soles of the feet connect here, and I'm just going to lean. I'm not going to like draw or really pull myself into it. I'm just going to allow gravity be on my side and slightly lean into it. Let's go here, rise. I want you to come up, plant the feet, bring your hands behind you, reverse table. So we're going to gaze up, lift the chest. Here's where maybe you're going to lift the hips as well. And then right back down into your yoga block, bring the feet together, and again, just round in. We're going to come up with the soles of the feet together right there, and your hands, you're going to use your thumbs, bring those right into the bottom of the feet, and just that feel-good pressure point of driving the thumbs from the heel up towards the ball of the foot. Just such an intuitive movement. Okay, let's release this now. We're going to come down off our block, make our way into the floor. I'm going to recline here and draw the knees in. I really feel just the spine, the flat back on the floor. Back of head, shoulder blades. Let's go ahead and float the arms, legs up slightly here. Circle the ankles and wrists. Hands, feet, very slowly, thoroughly, both directions. And then let's reach for the big toes here. Kind of drawing those feet down into the shape of happy baby pose. But then now let's guide the feet in towards that shape of butterfly like we were just in. And we'll lift the head a little bit, kind of rounding in. Let's lower the head. And then from right here, just the right leg. Can we reach through the right leg? A little or a lot? You're in charge. Let's bring that foot back to the center. Other side, of course, a little or a lot. No forcing. Okay, we're going to guide those feet right on back in. Go ahead, plant your feet onto the mat. And then from right there, tuck your tail under, scoop on up, rise, lift the hips. And from there, we'll lower the hips back down, out of bridge, little windshield wiper action here. Okay, from there, let's bring the soles of the feet together there on the floor, down into butterfly. Press down, lift your hips, rise into that butterfly-shaped bridge, and release it down. Let's land our hands right towards navel, belly, releasing all effort and work. Just take a moment to simply observe the rise and fall of your breathing. Next exhale, let's go ahead and slide the legs right on down the mat. Settling into Shavasana, just a brief moment to let that sense of completeness settle in. We'll reach the arms overhead. Nice full body stretch, really lengthen out into the ends and edges of your hands and feet. And then let's slowly start to reawaken to the day. Make your way on up back into your seat. All right, thank you all so very much for joining me for Calm and Strong. Have the best day ever.